Good morning, everybody. What's going on? This is the Investing Bros. Welcome. It is, Wednesday, June 14th. Holy cow, the dates are just coming away from us. It is FOMC day, guys, which means you guys know it's going to be a big day for the Bitcoin charts, for all of crypto charts. But what's crazy is you would think the main story would be FOMC today, but not only is this story we're going to be talking about today going to be the biggest story of this day, this story could be the biggest story for the next couple of days. And when I say next couple, I mean maybe next couple hundred. And that is that the dollar's place as the reserve currency of the world could be coming to an end, according to Janet Yellen. Make sure you guys do not go anywhere because that is going to be massive. But we're going to talk about the other things as well. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about Bitcoin and crypto. We're going to talk about what's happening in the stock market. And there's a couple other stories happening. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Smash that like button. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel. We're the Investing Bros, the most generous community in all of crypto. And we seek every single day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to help you understand what's happening so that you can make the best investment decisions for yourself. That's right. You don't need somebody else to tell you what to do. You should be in charge of your finances. If that's something that you are all about, make sure you smash that like button and are subscribed to the channel. I am joined by the Texas man, Mr. Army Piper. How you doing this morning, Piper?
I'm doing fantastic, Tim. I'm doing fantastic. I had a late night hanging out with Crux last night. We had some dinner
Ooh,
and caught up on some bro time. And overall, just watching and waiting for today.
yeah.
But the charts aren't doing much, so I might as well spend some time with family and friends. So
Absolutely. Well, I mean, also today is Flag Day. So happy Flag Day, Piper. What you're in the military, so that probably means a whole lot more to you than it does to many others. What are your thoughts about today about Flag Day? Is there any traditions you have?
I have no traditions. I wore the flag on my sleeve for 21 years and saluted it every day at Reveille and Retreat, and
Mm,
pretty much it is what it is. It's the representation of our great nation. So
yeah.
um, yeah,
Mm. Awesome. Well, I mean, looking at chat before we jump in here and get into the flow of the show, Brakoshi Notanero said Piper was great on Sin City Crypto yesterday. Yeah, if you guys didn't catch that, make sure you go back and watch it. Piper has been killing it. He is making his name known. He was on. He co-won ATB here just a couple of nights ago as well. So making your presence known. Speaking of that, I will announce it again later on, but I'm going to be on tonight. So make sure you guys go watch ATB again. But let's go over to our quote of the day. And of course, anyone who has not been watching maybe the last couple of days, you guys know T-Shroom is gone. He'll be back at some point next week. I'm not 100% certain which day he's back, but I do know he's coming back next week. But while he is gone, it is all Michael Scott quotes. And this quote can be directed, you choose who you want. Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, you choose your target. But it's a very fitting quote. Michael's sitting in therapy with his least favorite person in the world, Toby, and he says, "This is the worst. You are the worst. I hate looking at your face. I want to smash it." So again, target that at the person of whom you choose. Piper, what do you think about that quote? Who would you put on the other end of that quote?
oh, by far easily Gary Gensler,
There we go. Yeah.
easily, and and smash it. Your face, find your face and smash it.
I want to smash it.
Smash it like the like button. Smash it like the
Yeah.
like button.
Yeah. Just
Do
like the
that.
like button. Well, let's go ahead and go over here. Let's check in and see what's happening with our community. Before we read any names, though, make sure you guys go vote on our poll because here's the thing, guys. It's FOMC day. And there's other news moving as well. But we're sitting in a place, we're going to talk about this in the technical analysis portion here in just a couple of minutes. But we're going to be breaking out here soon. There's a lot of reasons to think that we could get some, not only volatility, but a big movement here soon. What is that going to look like? Is it going to be less than 5%, 5 to 10%, or maybe even greater than 10% within the next 48 hours? Make sure you guys go and vote. We got like 50 votes over there currently, but I want to see what you guys think. At the moment, less than 5% is leading the way, so you guys are all still very just even keeled. Nothing crazy you guys think is going to happen here. But let's read some of the names here. I do believe the first two people, And these have been a combination of the first two people for a long time now. It'd be Elo Brown and a Mellow Fellow. So congratulations to you guys. Elo Brown was first day. Sometimes they go off and on which one of them is first. But who else is here this morning? Crypto Pew Pew Cruz. I love it. I love the comments that he comes in here. And these comments are pew pew, pew 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 pew. So there you go. 10 points to Crypto Pew Pew Cruz for his comments and being in third place this morning. Yair Navarro is here with the GM. Gia S is here as well. Crypto Set Guy with that blue wrench. Crypto JMP saying, I'm here. Way to run roll call there, Crypto JMP. I love it. Let's see who else is here. Eric Wallen, Curtis Rorick, Mike Play, Philly Skills 1428 is here. Rick Wilson, DeJenny from
Tim,
the blockchain. Oh, did I miss
Tim,
one?
it's Philly Skills' birthday.
It is Philly Skills' birthday, and and
So
Elo Brown put it right there in chat for me to read, and I just went right over it. So happy birthday, Philly Skills. What are you getting? Let us know what your your birthday wishes are, and
$30,000
love to hear you.
Bitcoin.
Or I mean, it's either or. Is it $30,000 Bitcoin, or is it like a flash crash to $5,000 Bitcoin so he can scoop up like 10 of them, and then an emergence back up to like 30K?
Ooh,
That would
that's a
be
good
that'd be
one.
a birthday wish.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good
Let's
one.
see who else is here. All right, so this name, the last name is Terrence, and I know the last name is Terrence. The first name, I'm gonna go with the N is silent and say Jimfoa. Njfoa Terrence. Names are hard. Indo Crypto is here. Who else do we have? Got a couple more here. Grand Roofing Incorporated is here. Crypto Trades is here. Let's see here. A couple more. Sativio Shramoto. Interesting. That's different. Welcome, though. Welcome. Love reading that name. Let's see who else. Steve Shrum is here. Speaking of the T Shroom, Papa Shrum is in the house. Love to see it. We're gonna get 3 more names, and then we're gonna move on. Crux of Crypto with that blue wrench is here. Justin Eubanks is here, and the last one, the one that we are going to finish off with. I've never read this name before, but Black Knight 001. Welcome,
That
guys. I know
I
a
was going to
lot.
make sure you got that name.
Really? Do we know who that is?
Yes, that guy actually follows me on the other shows that I'm on, and he lives here in El
Ah,
Paso. So we're gonna meet up for a beer one day soon. So
come on. Guys, there are so many other names in chat that I was not able to read. Maybe I'll read some more names later, but it is time to move on with the show. If I did not read your name, it does not mean I don't love you. It's just time to go ahead and move on. Starting off with Piper and the economic outlook. Of course, today's FOMC day. But Piper, what else is happening that people might have missed?
well, Tim, 30-year fixed mortgage rate has gone down uh,
Oh,
to a whopping 6.77%. Still
there we
not
go.
time to buy a home yet.
It's
So
moving the right
uh,
way, though.
it's moving the right way. We did get PPI month over month came in, was expected to be down 0.1% on the consensus and the forecast. Actually came in down 0.3%. So PPI is coming down. The core PPI came in as expected on consensus, beating the forecast a little bit higher there, coming in the same neutral as what it was previously. So that's what we have so far. Big ones today, guys. Fed rate hike, Fed rate decision. So
Mhm.
right now we're sitting at 5.25. The consensus and the forecast, as you can see right here, 5.25. I don't know if you noticed or not either, but I now have this in a blackout screen because they gave me that option now. So it's
Cool.
pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, that's what we're watching for today is to see that. I want to see what it comes in at. I'm guessing that's going to be this. However, Crux of Crypto has said that he believes that we are going to see a rate hike today, and he has called it correctly. I want to say the last 4 times. So I'm gonna take that for what it's worth.
I think is it him trying to be contrarian though? Because here's the other thing is, and we're gonna talk about this here in just a minute, Piper. But the Fed Watch tool has gotten it right every single time as well, and they are heavily predicting a pause. So did Crux give a reason for his prediction, or is he just being contrarian?
Woman's intuition,
Intuition. Hmm.
then a
There
woman's
you go.
intuition.
A woman. Okay, okay.
I, I gotta give him crap. You know how it is, man. So he kept me up to like midnight last night, and I know he's gonna come in the chat and go, "No, you kept me up," but that's not the truth. All right,
Yeah.
let's get back to it here. Um, so here we go. Let's get over to the Trueflation. You're gonna love this one, Tim. I saw this
Okay.
morning and was like, "Holy cow! Look at this." 2.54%. We came down 0.2% off of
Yeah.
yesterday's information. So, uh, again, not the same methodology as what the federal government uses. Federal government says we're at 4. This is the old methodology that the federal government used to use before they manipulated numbers. So,
Mm,
um, interesting to see. I did see a tweet yesterday, and I won't say the name because I don't like to play that game, but someone was talking about rate hikes or the interest rates coming down, but
mhm.
why is everything so still expensive? And I said back to them on Twitter, that would be because you live in California. So,
Oof.
because
True.
prices are coming down, I've noticed it dramatically. I mean, gas is a little high, but overall, you got to remember, food prices and housing prices or energy prices are not in that core pricing, right? So at 4%, that's other things are coming down, and there's been a drastic drop in
Well,
some goods out there. So
another thing is when stuff like this happens, 4% inflation. While that's lower than last month's, obviously, what was it, 4 point something else inflation? I don't. That's still inflation. That's still prices going up. Like things aren't going to get cheaper. They're just going to get. They're not going to get as expensive as fast as we're getting lower inflation numbers. We're not going to see this massive decline in goods because inflation is dropping. I did see Piper. Another thing I saw yesterday, and I don't know if this is going to hold up, but I saw a prediction that June's CPI number is going to come in at 3.3. So another
ooh,
7/10 of a point of a point drop for the month of June. Going to be interesting. Obviously, it's different than core CPI. This is something I think you probably talked about yesterday. Just mentioning it. We came in lower on CPI. Yes, it was expected 4.1 consensus came in at 4, but our core CPI, which is what measures goods, foods, electricity, all that stuff. It actually was a little higher. It came in at 5.3, despite I think prediction was 5.2.
correct.
So that is why we're still seeing food and stuff that I think the average American still sees what I purchase every single day is still getting more expensive. There's some other things. Oil is definitely coming down. Other things are coming down.
But
So
I remember not too long ago when I went to go buy a pack of chicken thighs, and
yeah,
it was like $10 for 4 chicken thighs.
what the
So
heck?
yeah, well, but they were out of chicken. Like
Goodness
there was
gracious.
literally no chicken. There was a limitation on how much chicken you could even buy. So when you compare it
Yeah.
to what we were looking at back, not long ago. Let's go ahead and jump over to the last thing here.
Okay.
That is going to be my Bitcoin liquidations chart here.
Good old
Let's take a look
liquidations.
here. Gotta love the liquidations, man.
Yeah.
Someone made money. Remember, every time there's a liquidation, someone made money. Liquidations, $10 million on Bitcoin, 7 million of that on longs. So everyone's still pushing longs. That's why I
Mhm.
look at this. But just so you guys know, as a trader, I want to know who's getting hurt the most, because if I keep seeing these longs get liquidated and shorts lessening, then it means that we're probably about to get that flip. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, Liquidations on Ethereum only sitting at 6.8 million, and total liquidations in the past 24 hours. We're going to be looking right here, $39 million in liquidations. Biggest one again, Binance. So there you go.
That's really not that much. Only
It's not.
30. Yeah,
It's
39 million is not a lot.
definitely slowing down, starting to
Mhm.
even out here. So it's
Yeah.
good when we see that. It means that people are waiting and watching. So, and sometimes patience is the key to a good trade. So.
Awesome, awesome. Well, guys, before we transfer over here and look at what the CME futures tool is predicting, we got over 140 people watching. Thank you so much, everybody. Go ahead and smash that like button, though, because we only have 40 likes here. So, well over 100 of you have not smashed that like button yet. You know what? I got to start with the man himself, Piper. Piper, have you smashed the like button yet? Piper, if you're talking, we cannot hear you because you're on my screen.
Let me get to that, Tim.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you'd forgotten again. And this is what's really crushing our numbers here is because we can't even get it amongst ourselves. Listen, we're gonna smash
Yeah.
the like button, guys. We're gonna smash the like button. You guys smash the like button. Love giving Piper a hard time. All right, here we go, guys. All right, I don't know where Crux is coming from. Crux, I want you to defend yourself. Please be commenting in chat. Why do you think we're raising rates? CME Futures Tool at this point is predicting 95.3% chance that we will be pausing. Now, there's been a lot of chaos when it comes to the predictions after this. I know briefly yesterday there actually was a very small percentage of people predicting that we might have a rate cut. Well, that's over. Now we got 4.7 predicting that we could raise another 25. Not going to happen, guys. This is about a sure deal. And if Crux can convince us otherwise, go for it, Crux. But we're going to pause here in the month of June. But July is still leaning towards a rate hike. I know there was a moment yesterday, brief moment, where they were predicting a pause in July as well. That's over. We're back to predicting a rate hike in the month of July. Then we get to September and we get another pause. Then we get to November, another pause. And then here's where it is. This is flipping this morning. All right. So earlier, I checked this earlier. There actually was it was like very close, but there was a lot of people predicting that we would go ahead and end the year at that 525 to 550, which is 25 points higher than we currently are. But now we're sitting here right now predicting we will finish where we currently are after a rate hike in July. So a lot can still change here, but while they do look to be pausing here today for this month, July could bring us back into another rate hike. And again, this has a lot to do with what we're going to talk about a little bit later. But the death of the dollar, what is Jerome Powell going to do? There's actually a lot of, I'm a little confused here, and we got to kind of work out what's going to happen here, because there's a lot of reasons to say that because the dollar is struggling so much, they shouldn't be raising any more rates. There's other reasons to say they should. With inflation numbers presenting themselves. So here's another thing. Let's go to Brocam here real quick, Piper, and just break this down before we jump into the charts.
Let's jump into Brocam. Why not?
Well, Jerome Powell, they don't make decisions. The Fed doesn't make decisions on reality. So if anyone's out here saying, "Oh, what do you mean inflation's dropping? The prices are still ridiculous. Everything's crazy." It is. You're right. We all know that live in reality. All of us retail investors, all of us normal people, we know that the economy is in trouble. We know that the dollar's in trouble. We know that everything's getting more expensive. That does not mean that's how Washington operates. Jerome Powell looks at numbers and details. And as we're showing you, that's what we do every single morning here. We're showing you the inflation numbers are dropping. I told you guys, there's a prediction that CPI comes in next month at 3.3. I guarantee you that means that the core CPI is going to be dropping as well. Do we see the Fed? Do we see Jerome Powell looking at the numbers and saying, "Oh, we're doing a great job here. Let's go ahead and start cutting rates"? That's absolutely could happen. Or is he look ahead of time? And truthfully, this would actually be kind of a smart move on his end to think this way. Does he look forward and say, "Yeah, we just raised the debt ceiling. We're going to be putting the money printers back on. We need to get ahead of this. Let's keep rates at least constant for a long time while we battle and sort this all out." That's another reality that he could do. But if there's one thing you can count on from the U.S. government, it's that they are stupid and that they will do the wrong thing more often than not. So
You are
we got to live with
correct.
that.
I
We got
will
to live
not
with
even argue with that statement at all. Um,
it. And this goes back. This goes back. Go back. Share my screen here, Piper. This goes back to something I want to say to the entire U.S. government. You're the worst. I hate looking at your face. I want to smash it. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to Bitcoin here. This morning,
I gotta correct you.
oh,
I
you want
won't
to
say
mention?
they're the worst. I won't say they're the worst. They are a much better government than a lot of the governments out there. Trust me, I've seen them.
It's true.
However,
It's
the
true.
people in the government,
It's true.
them. And Tim, I got to ask you a question real fast because I was watching in the chat here, and someone said it was a crypto set guy was talking about dog food prices. Did you see that?
I saw someone say they rose by 100%.
Yeah, and he said maybe it wasn't crypto set guy. Anyway, he said they said they spent $150 in dog food in the past 2 weeks. I got to ask you a question.
What is he feeding his dogs?
Is
Yeah.
Beamer? Well, so they asked him if he was feeding them filet mignon, but I got to ask you:
Yeah.
is Beamer really escaping your yard, or are you letting Beamer out to go get fed because he's so cute by other people to save you money?
You know,
Is this your investment plan, Tim?
I hadn't put too much thought into it. That's not a bad idea. You just came up with there, Piper. Because every single time he gets out, it's always the exact same thing. There's a person that finds him and says, "Oh my gosh, he's the sweetest thing. I just didn't know what was happening and I didn't know where he was." But I mean, he literally climbs fences at this point. Like, I'm literally at the point where I'm gonna have to redo our entire fence to put boards on our side, because you guys know how fences work. In the backside of them, you can still see the horizontal railings. He has
Yep.
found a way to climb the fence like a monkey, and
Oh,
it's
it was
getting
Ben's. It was Ben's 310 dog. Ben's 310. He said dog food cost me $150 every 2 weeks. So yeah,
goodness
there you go.
gracious. That is a lot of money. That's a
But
lot of
if you're not letting Beamer out to eat other people's givings to his cuteness, then you are not managing your budget correctly, Tim. I'm gonna need you to up your game, sir.
we'll have to look into that. Let's go ahead and move on here. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index sitting at 46 here, ticking down into fear. I guess yesterday we were in fear down at 45. The day before we were up in the 50s. So yeah, nothing necessarily crazy. It's still hovering right around neutral territory. Wanted to give that update, but not going to read too much into it. It's time. Let's go ahead. We're at 921 and we're just now getting into charts. So let's go over here. First of all, shout out to Chart Prime. Thank you so much for being a partner of the channel. You guys are going to see us using these indicators a whole heck of a lot. And if you guys want to support the channel and have an amazing tool for your trading skills, Chart Prime is the answer. Check out the links down below. What I'm talking about here. So I got a lot of lines going on here, a lot of lines of support and resistance. Let's keep an eye on this one right here. Let me go ahead and turn it. What color should I turn this morning? Let's go purple. Let's go purple for royalty, and that way it gets some different colors on here. And this yellow line here, if we were to go back, this purple line has been in place since back here in May on the 29th, 28th. Back, and then support levels, even though we didn't touch it right there, we got some more support coming in over here on June. So you guys can see very clearly there is a little bit of a symmetrical triangle kind of going on here. And what's crazy is a lot of times we talk about symmetrical triangle patterns either coming from the downside or coming from the upside. This one, we're kind of coming in sideways to then set this symmetrical triangle pattern. So that just adds even more chaos. I mean, already with these patterns, you're looking at percentages and possibilities of, do they break to the upside or do they break to the downside? To not grab my marker tool. We're not necessarily 100% certain, but especially when you see price action come in sideways into it, that's when you're like, all right, it's literally anybody's guess which way Bitcoin should be going. Now, I will use my technical analysis to kind of give opinions as to why I think it's more to the upside than necessarily to the downside. First of all, this 25.2, once again, guys, I'm going to talk about this a lot. 25.2 is very, 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 very strong support, guys. It's going to take a whole lot of momentum from the bears to break through it. You guys can also see there's other support levels that we've talked about before. This green line right here falling has been used as resistance, support, resistance, and has now been turned back into support here the other day. Now, of course, we still have that purple line of resistance right there. We got to break through. However, I still see a lot of things happening down there that are supportive. We did have some bearish divergence here with a red reversal triangle on the 4-hour chart, but you guys know just one call right there. It's not the strongest in the world. RSI is kind of hovering right at the 50 line. So again, this is more stuff here on the 4-hour chart, kind of saying we're really not bullish nor bearish. Let's pull up our other chart prime oscillators and see what we have going on here. Starting off, we're below our 4-hour dynamic reactor. Let's take a look at a couple other things though. Using our prime trend assistant, are we using any type of support? I'm not going to be surprised to see that we're using prime trend support if it loads here for me. Come on now, settings. The little eyeball is loading. There we go. We actually rejected off of a bearish, what is it? This is called, these are all new. This prime trend assistant, we rejected off of the bearish wave of it. Technically, it's still sitting above us, but watch for potential breakthrough on that one. We also, let's pull up our bands here. I'm gonna go ahead and guarantee you these momentum wave bands are starting to constrict here on the 4-hour chart. And that is another sign similar to Bollinger Bands that we should be getting a breakout coming in here very soon. Give it a second, guys, though. It's a little slow this morning. Yeah, so we've been a little constricted here on the 4-hour chart for a little bit here. Nothing necessarily too crazy, but we're sitting there in the middle. Let's take a look. What are we seeing out in the daily chart and on the hourly chart as well? Maybe give us a little bit more of a call right there. Oh, there we go. Sitting on the middle, sitting right on top of our daily dynamic reactor. Let's go ahead and take our momentum wave and our prime trend assistant down for the moment. We're sitting right on top of our daily dynamic reactor, but look on the daily chart. This is what you love to see on the chart prime oscillators here. A couple of days ago, got that green triangle with the bullish divergence, got a little bit of a bullish flash, but then we kind of came back down, but we just got a peak seeker Are peak seekers perfect? No, not necessarily, but they are big. When you combine that with the fact that our daily RSI is hovering right at the 30, these are both signs of bullish movement. It should look like bullish movement is coming in. Let's take a look at our fixed range volume profile here as well. Let's go back and just use quarter two, meaning let's start on April 1st. What are we seeing here? Are we hovering? We are still below the value area low and the point of control. Another kind of point in the direction of saying, hey, guys, it would make a lot of sense, especially with the fact that coming into this day, this FOMC day, the last couple of weeks, a lot of people believed that we were going to get another rate hike, and now it's all but certain we're going to have a pause. A lot of this is kind of coming into confluence here that Bitcoin should have a little bit of a pump here. There's really not too much more I want to take a look at. Let's look at Fibonacci here on the shorter timeline, and let's go back down to the 4-hour chart so we can see it more clearly. Done with our oscillators here. That's not really seeing that much. Let's see right here. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Boom. Come on, Fibonacci. Let's go top to bottom here. Most recent movements with this double bottom. You guys can see we're also kind of struggling right here. Yeah, a couple wicks go above, but we're struggling with that 0.236. So watch for a breakout and potential move back up towards that dynamic reactor at 0.382, back up to this red line, which could be somewhere in the realm of the golden pocket here. Watch out for 27,300. Could be another move we have coming in here very soon. A lot to kind of look at here. Got some breaker blocks sitting a little bit above us, but we also have this nice order block sitting up at 28.3. A lot of things above us, a lot of things supporting us below us, and a lot of targets sitting above us right now on Bitcoin. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know some people still holding out and saying, oh, we had this head and shoulders pattern that played out here a couple weeks ago. This should send us down to 23. Again, that's if we break 25.2. I'm not seeing it happen. I think 25.2 is very strong support, but if we do lose 25.2, watch out for about 23,300 or so should be our target. Coming back down in this trading channel that we have not broken out of just yet could be a support level down here on this blue line. Again, don't think it's going to happen, but that is what we are looking out for. Now, let's take a quick look. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I just want to take a look at what's happening on Cardano. Of course, you guys know we had a massive fall the other day on Cardano. Let me go ahead and take down this indicator here. Don't really need it right now. It's kind of hovering right now. It hasn't decided really what it wants to do, but we told you guys the other day how massive when you see that spike in volume like that and you see these flashes we have on the oscillators, how great of a bottom that is. Now we're sitting back up above the 0 line, above the 50 line of the RSI. Is it above? It's a little bit below, actually. But we're seeing potentially, is Cardano sitting in a space ready to make a move further to the upside? I don't see it dropping below. That amount of volume right there, at worst, a double bottom. Maybe we retouch. This wick comes down to about 21 cents, 21.8 cents. At worst, a retouch, but with that amount of volume sitting there, I think that Cardano has found its bottom here as well. And here's the reason why I also think that we could be seeing all these altcoins pump up here. And I know we're going to see Ethereum TA here in just a second from Piper, but it is the Dixie. And you guys, a lot of you guys might have even tuned in watching because you see that title saying breaking news, the dollar's collapsing imminently. What is the exact words we used? The dollar is collapse imminent. Okay, there you go. I made the title, and I sometimes I forget the words I use. The dollar collapse is imminent. Dixie is starting to fall once again. Is it still well above where it bottomed out earlier this year? Yes, it is. But look as it begins to fall. Now, we do have a little peak seeker coming in here on this 4-hour chart. Let's go look at the daily, though, and see what it is saying. We're starting to approach down towards lower levels. So, but the chart prime oscillator is not approaching those lower levels. I think we have further to drop down towards this 0.5 level at about 102 and 18 cents, give or take. Don't be surprised just because we're moving to the downside. Normal downward movements, normal bearish trends, and that's what it is, have bounces. So just because we see a dollar bounce and start to move to the upside, that doesn't mean the dollar is reliving. That just means you're coming back up for breath pretty much. As long as we keep this little trend that we have kind of started here on the Dixie right here, purple line, let's go ahead and turn that back red. As long as we're not setting new highs and we keep setting these lower lows and lower highs, this is a bearish trend for the Dixie that I'm watching to see, do we finally make a break down here down to this. What is this level right here? Oh, that's just a red line I have. That's the support level. We finally break below this $100 level and start to make our way towards this golden pocket we've been talking about literally since back here in January this year. So months now, this golden pocket area of 98 cents. And then maybe we see a little bit of a sideways movement on the dollar as we have that everything's all right rally that comes in later this year, right before the stock market really has its doomsday. Keep your eyes on that right now. But as we're seeing it at the moment, the Dixie is falling once again. You guys can see even on this macro timeline, and I moved my line, did not want to do that. There we go. On this macro timeline, even though the dollar pushed and there was a chance we talked about it maybe getting up this 105, notice it's setting lower highs. Yes, it double bottomed here. Yes, we have a flat bottom, but the fact that we're still setting lower highs, best case scenario on the Dixie at this moment, guys, we end up getting one more bounce at this $100 level, but then we come back up and set a new lower high. And guess what formation that creates for us? That would be a descending triangle, which is known as a heartbreaker to any rally. You get this hope that maybe you might see a rally, but this flat bottom with its descending level of resistance, that ends up sending us to the downside. And in this case, that would actually send the Dixie, if this were to play out this way, guys. Let me get this right here. You use the opening of the formation, you move over to the breakout, and that would give us right down, make a lot of sense, bring us down to this platinum pocket down here at $95. Keep your eyes on that as we are seeing economic news continue to come out. BRICS nations, other nations, everything is coming against the dollar. Its days of power could be numbered. Piper, we're going to jump more into that here a little bit later in the news, but what are you seeing on the Ethereum chart this morning and XRP and anything else you're keeping your eyes on?
All right. Well, first off, Tim, let's go ahead. I'm going to switch this over to market open because we'll talk about that real fast. I'm going to show you guys here. Let's jump into the US 30. This is going to be the Dow Jones. Dow Jones giving a little slight drop right now. Let me go ahead and put this on a 4-hour. Actually, let's do it on a 30-minute. That way we can see what's actually happening here at the market open. You can see a little drop going on with the Dow Jones right now. Let's look at the S&P 500. Same thing, getting a pullback right now, getting ready to break this key level of support over here, and getting that confirmation of the chart breakout to the downside there, guys. So let's go ahead and do a little measurement here, see what this would look like. Can I get the magnet turned off? Thanks, appreciate that. It always tries to help me, and it doesn't help me. It just doesn't help me. Yeah, that would put it back. That would put it back down to the lower trade band of the predictive ranges here, guys. So, be watching for that. Of course, remember it's volatile. It is FOMC day. A lot of speculation and a lot of people selling off and waiting for that data. So we could, not doesn't have to always play out. But yeah, even the Nasdaq getting a nice little pullback here. Looks like we're heading towards the mats right now. And that's the moving average trend sniper there, guys. Free indicator from Chart Prime. Throw it on there. MATS. You'll love it. So yeah, that's where we're heading to right now in the market open. Let me go ahead and jump over into Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum. Nice wick down there, Ethereum. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, so looking at Ethereum here, we are getting a little wick down here to previous support levels of the candles down here at about 1738. We do have the lower support band of the predictive ranges coming in at about 1728, 1725, just to make it a nice psychological number. But you can see here, we're starting to get this nice little pattern here going on with the momentum waves coming in. So at some point, we're going to have some action here. You can see our consolidation score over here sitting at a 9 out of 10. So very, very strong consolidations in the sideways range here. Just a nice little wave. If we take a look at the oscillator here, does look like the oscillator, after printing a bearish divergence, is pushing down quite a bit. The cloud is pretty tight, not squeezing, but pretty tight. If we don't get a bounce on this zero line, I do suspect that we're probably coming down to about that 1729 range. I do want to point out, though, that we do have these little waves right here. These are called prime ranges. And right now they're bearish. So I could see us coming down to that again, the 1730, 1729. Everything keeps coming up in that 1729 to 1730 range for the downside here. If we break that, then be watching for us to come down and hit this previous prime range, which is going to be around 1714. And if we're going to do that, we might as well come all the way down to the bottom of the predictive range, hit the 1700 on a wick in of the momentum wave, and then that would be where I would enter along. So
Mm,
there you go. That's my call on that. I'm still watching over here. Money flow starting to come down a little bit, not really getting a lot of love there, and we are still upside of the 30 mark on the prime ranges here on RSI Prime.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that we do have the potential for downside. If we look at what we have looking above us, and let me pull this in here. I want to go to nope. Still getting it down. There we go. Yeah, I wanted to make sure the breaker blocks were looking in the right place. So we do have an order block sitting right here above us at about 1768, which would put us in line with the delta line and the momentum wave top side up there. So looking at the top side, 1750-ish, bottom side, 1725 to 1700. So that's what I'd be watching for on Ethereum. Let's go ahead and jump into the XRP. XRP already dropped
Well,
that
real
X in the
quick, Viper.
chat. What?
One thing,
What?
one thing, real
What?
quick. One thing, real quick. I don't know if you showed it there, but I didn't see you do it. There's another very strong level of support there on Ethereum out on the daily chart. Want to pull that up?
Sure, sure. By the way, do you like the new spinning logo there?
I do. I like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the
Thanks,
spins.
thanks, thanks. Let me go jump in and pull that up here. All right, I'm looking at the daily.
Look at the daily. What do we see bounce? Oh, it's got to load. It's got to load still. Oh, you're on a different chart. I guess it's a little bit low. On mine, on Ethereum, are you on perpetual? You're on Coinbase. On perpetual, BitGet perpetuals, I'm seeing Ethereum on the daily chart bouncing very cleanly off of the dynamic reactor. Very cleanly off of that daily dynamic reactor. You love to see it. Just another level of support mixing in with the RSIs down here, low 30. We got a green triangle with the ribbons really low. I'm liking what I'm seeing on Ethereum on the daily chart. Again, it was very hard for the bears to break us below this yellow box that had been holding up for a long time. They did it, but only to test that daily dynamic reactor and find some nice solid support there. So keep your eyes there as well. Also, that green band is very strong. The bullish momentum on Ethereum's daily wave bands is very nice here. So I'm loving what I'm seeing on Ethereum's macro charts over here. If you're talking, we cannot hear
I'm
you.
actually looking here at mine, and I'm trying to see if I have something set differently on mine. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the actual USD
Yeah,
contracts.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
You're
Okay.
also looking at Coinbase, which Coinbase, because of all the
No,
lawsuit and
no.
everything, is a
I
little
I
fuddled
switched.
at the moment.
No, I
Yeah,
switched it over to my. I'm looking at the US. This is the inverse contracts for
gotcha.
perpetual on
Okay.
BitGet. We're sitting just below that dynamic reactor right now in here, but I do want to show because I forgot to show my fibs, man. I got to show fibs, right?
Oh,
I do have that 1694 range is the golden pocket. So there you go. There you go. Let's go over to XRP though.
let's do it.
Let's go check some XRP. Oh, let me get rid of all those. If you guys are wondering what all these white lines are, those are my entry alerts. So let me just turn those off. Bam, there we go. Yeah, so I do those lines up, and when they give me an alert, it tells me that I picked up an entry. And so I am looking to pick up some more entries on XRP right now. So I want to show you guys here on XRP. We did do a nice wick up there, hit a wick up to the 887 before we got rejected. Yesterday we were sitting inside, and I'm still on the daily. Forgive me, for I have sinned to my
Mm.
my show viewers out there that watch my TA. I apologize. I'm always on the 4 hour. Here I am trying to do daily for you, Tim. Um, Looking at here, guys, we did come almost down to the 50% line on the charts here, on the Fibonacci's here before we got a bounce. Right now, sitting, just holding hard on the dynamic reactor that's coming in. That's this line right in through here. So, yeah, moving average back tested against other data, giving us a nice range of support there. Hopefully, we can hold that. We do have a trend assist. That's what the bright green line is here. So, that is looking a little bullish for us. And it does look like we're starting to get curvature here on the oscillator ribbon. And we're starting to curve a little bit here on the trend fusion. So I would say give us some time today. If we break this 50% line, I'm going to be watching for us to come to the 382 right here, maybe grabbing this liquidity from the previous wick, hitting that momentum wave at the same time before we come up. But if we do not fall past this 50% line of the Fibonacci's, be watching for us to come back up and try to take and regain the golden pocket as support to come back up into this. And the reason that for this is, and I brought this up yesterday on Sin City Crypto, shout out to them for having me on yesterday. It was awesome to be on their show. But I want to point out that we still have not taken the liquidity of this wick, even with yesterday's run up that we had. So
Mhm.
it is quite possible that we come up, make this support, get up into the platinum pocket for a bit, and then wick up to grab that liquidity that's sitting back here on that previous range that we had back on 29 March. So that's what I'm seeing on XRP today, Tim.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we already did our market open here. So let's go ahead and transition now very briefly in the community. Piper, any updates you have for the community? I think I have two of them, and then we're going to keep moving on into our headlines.
Go for it. What have you got, man?
Well, the biggest one, I said we mentioned it earlier. I will be on ATB tonight, so make sure all of the Investing Bros community, you guys come and show some support. Cannot wait for my second announcement, and that is that T. Shroom will be back next week. I believe, Piper, I believe he told us he's coming back the night of the 18th, and that he
Yes,
should
that's
be
what he
back
said.
on the show on the 19th, which is, what does that mean? He should be back on the show
Isn't the
on Monday.
18th
I think
like
he
a
comes back
week?
in. I
Yeah,
think the
it's a
18th
weekend.
is Sunday. Yeah. So he should be back on the show
Correct.
Monday morning is the goal. And then I can't wait for when he gets back on ATB. And then maybe we have weeks where there's 3 investing bros representing ATB and we're just going to overtake over there.
That'd be
But
awesome. Be
that is
awesome.
that's our community post for today. Make sure the last one, I don't know if we're going to get it. I don't know, guys, if we're going to get it. Share my screen here really quickly, Piper. You guys know that we had a goal at the end of June to get to 4,000 subscribers. And guess what, guys? We have been growing still. It's great to see that we are still growing. Anytime you see this number in green, this is still, even though I think the price actions of crypto are in a sideways movement, borderline beginning bull market, the attention on YouTube, the attention of people watching content about crypto is very much still in the bottom of the bear market. If you're looking around other crypto channels, everyone is bleeding. So if just having a green number right here in the growth in the last 28 days, that is a good sign. I don't know if we're going to get to our goal though of 4,000. We need your help though. Share, make sure you're subscribed and share with your friends. Tell everybody just to come subscribe to this new and amazing channel here. And we cannot do it without you guys. So that is updating you guys on where our goals are with subscribers. Let's go ahead and move over here into our headlines, though. A couple of these are kind of just scroll through headlines like this one. We're not even going to go through the actual details. Just wanted to bring to you guys' attention. Bitcoin exchange supply hits a 3-year low. This article from you today kind of goes into, Piper. It kind of breaks down the concept of really saying the reason why this low is happening is because of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is known as FUD, about these exchanges, especially with the new lawsuits coming to Binance and Coinbase. Here's what people do need to know, though. When supply is low, that's still a good sign that people are holding their Bitcoin. If there's not Bitcoin on an exchange that can easily be moving and being sold, that means they're just holding it, uh, which is a good sign. That marks bottoms. Now, of course, this is probably being sparked by outside forces, not necessarily just price action, but it is still a bullish sign that Bitcoin exchanges are their supply is this low. It keeps the price from being able to tank too quickly. Another reason, adding on with the charts, why I still believe 25.2 is a very strong level of support. Let's keep moving on here, though, into some other headlines that maybe some of these are going to be good. Some of these are going to be a little bearish. These are just the biggest headlines that I saw. The SEC finally answers Coinbase. Of course. Wow. And we're going to get into this article, guys, but they literally did the least they could have possibly do. The SEC's lengthy response reveals a continued reluctance to clarify its stance on cryptocurrency regulation or commit to any definitive timeline for rulemaking, despite the court's explicit orders. The SEC refutes Coinbase's demand for immediate action, labeling it as an extraordinary request. The commission argues that due to the vast scope of Coinbase rulemaking petition, which was filed just months ago and supplemented more recently, it has not yet determined an appropriate course of action. This, according to the SEC, is an entirely reasonable stance considering the circumstances. So pretty much the SEC deems and rules that their delaying is reasonable. And I think it's this one that gives us, here we go. This is where we get really meat of this article here. And Piper, I want to sit on this for a second before we move on. In somewhat an unexpected development, the SEC has given an estimated timeline for further action. The counsel for the commission states that they anticipate being able to make a recommendation regarding Coinbase's rulemaking petition within the next 120 days. So, Piper, let's go to Brocam here real quickly. We're just going to break this down. Coinbase is sitting here. Coinbase is pretty much saying, you have not told us anything. You've accused us of breaking laws that you won't even tell us what's happening. And they laid out this huge case as to why they think everything's okay. The SEC comes back and says, oh no, you have such a large paperwork. You have so much paperwork here. It's going to take us a really long time. Come back in 120 days and we'll have an answer for you.
Okay.
Piper, why do you think the SEC is delaying? Why do you think they're doing this to Coinbase? Let's kind of sit here and speculate here for a little bit.
Let's do that. So I would have to say if the reason that they're doing that is probably because they don't like the results that are going to be coming out, and that those results can be used against them with the other cases that they have going. So they're going to try to get as much done before the damning information comes out of that lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's a lot going on here, and I'm going to go further with it. They don't have answers. They've read the report. First of all, this is the hypocritical portion of this. A U.S. government agency is concerned about too many pages in a document. Wow. I thought that was just the normal. I thought that anytime we want to do things in documents, we had to have like 99 pages of nonsense. So that's the first thing. I bet you they've read it. The SEC has enough lawyers and everything else to read the documents.
Oh, yeah. They had that thing read long before.
They do not know the answers to the question. We're going to talk about this more here in a second during one of the another judge ruling in the Binance.us case. But ultimately, the SEC has no answers. They are delaying. What for, we might ask? This we have speculated on before.
What for, Tim?
I'm not going to be surprised, guys. This 120 days, I'm not saying that one will be fully developed and ready to go, but watch within the next 120 days, which is going to put us into October. Watch more news about CBDCs to come out. I guarantee you this is continuation of the SEC's delaying, that's not a word, delaying as they're preparing for CBDCs to be able to come out. And 120 days, it's just too much time. Let's keep moving on here, though, Piper. Moving on to our next story, talking about the SEC and court rulings. Can I scroll up here, guys? Thank you very much. This one from CoinDesk this morning. It's, what did the computer just take over? I think this computer might be possessed. All right, let's keep going up here. Let's go to the top. U.S. judge rebuffs SEC request for Binance.us asset freeze for now. Let's kind of scroll down here and read some of the details here. The federal judge overseeing the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission case against Binance and Binance.us declined to order a temporary restraining order freezing the U.S. trading platform's assets. That's a good sign. Love seeing that one. Let's keep moving on, though. Love the ads over here as well. If the two sides can agree on limits, Judge Amy Berman Jackson of the D.C. District Court said, there's absolutely no need for a restraining order. In the meantime, the judge ordered Binance.us to provide a list of its business expenses to the court and ordered the parties to continue negotiating. A status update is due by the close of business on Thursday. So pretty much, we're going to kind of catch you up where they are. The judge has said, SEC, you have no right to get them to shut everything down. That's what the SEC wants. The SEC wants a complete pause from Binance.us. The judge says, no, that's not happening. That's stupid. But before the ruling, the judge is saying, or she is saying, hey, continue to negotiate, continue to talk about terms. And if you guys can come to terms, this will help a lot. And you have a due date by Thursday. And I think we read it further into this. There's reasons why both sides want to actually come to terms and not have the judge get involved. At the time, judge seemed frustrated. Here we go. At times, the judge seemed frustrated by the responses she was hearing when asking whether any Binance.user customer funds had actually left the U.S. After multiple SEC attorneys said that they were mainly concerned about the fact that Binance's global platform controlled enough private key shards to move funds. She goes, I want to know if it's happening or not, she said. It's stunning that I've asked each of you this. Wow, judge, you're now feeling the pain that all the rest of us are feeling. Anytime you ask a question to someone that works at the SEC, you get the roundabout. You get nothing direct whatsoever. And I'm glad to see a United States judge getting pissed off and saying, just freaking answer my questions. You're not even telling me. You're so worried about all this stuff happening and what Binance.us could do, but are they even doing it? Like, is there even a reason why this case is in my courtroom right now? It's pretty much what she's saying. You'll love to see it. Let's keep scrolling down here to where it gets really fun. Securities versus commodities. Judge Jackson also dove into the foundational question at the heart of the suit. What makes a crypto asset a security, and is it a commodity if it isn't a security? Now, to be fair, we're about to read into this. Both sides are pretty frustrating, it sounds like. Near the opening of the hearing, the judge asked the SEC attorneys to distinguish between a crypto asset and a crypto asset security. SEC attorney Matthew Scarlato told the judge that the regulator had provided several examples. So here we go. What is a crypto asset or crypto asset security? This is their answer. We've provided several examples of crypto if we believed were securities in the broader complaint, but we also reserve the right to access the rest of the tokens on the exchange later. Matthew, that wasn't the question. The question is, what is a crypto asset versus what is a crypto asset security? By telling us you've selected certain ones, that doesn't tell us what one actually is. We keep moving on. The judge asked the SEC and later Binance whether the other cryptocurrencies were commodities. The response they got, this is what she asked. The ones you're not calling securities, what are they? She asked, diving into the heart of the issue that vexed the crypto industry for years. She later asked Matthew Martins, the attorney for representing Binance.US, if BNB is a commodity since the company had argued it was a security. And Matthew Martin said it is a crypto asset. This one, I love it. I love this judge. What is that? No one wants to tell me. I feel you. I feel you, Judge. I feel no one wants to tell anyone. Nobody knows what an actual security when it comes to crypto is. We can go to Brocam now on this one, Piper. I want to get your take here as well.
It's like watching a three-ring circus of clowns, man. Like,
it's ridiculous. And I love that she's just voicing what all of us are thinking. But even like that line, I can only imagine how pissed off she was hearing this. Hey, what is a crypto asset? Hey, what's a crypto security? And the response is, we've provided examples of them. So like they can't tell us what the definition is, but I guess is the SEC's philosophy, we don't know what a security is, but you know it when you see it. Is that their thoughts here, Piper? Because that's pretty much what his response is. We've given an example of ones we believe are securities, but we reserve the right to assess the rest of the tokens later. That is not an answer to the question.
I love it. I think it's great. I think this is the most entertaining thing that I've seen in years. It's literally any questioning to the SEC for clarity. It's Tim, what is a dog? Well, Rick, a dog is an animal. Okay, well, what's a cow? A cow is an animal. So is a cow a dog? Well, we've clarified what that previously was. Like, this is the SEC at every turn. So.
Oh my, it's ridiculous. I can't wait to see how this goes. I'm loving this judge though so far. We're rooting for you, Judge. Get the answers you need. Let's keep moving on here, Piper. We got two more stories, and we'll jump into
judge
our
a fruit basket.
Yeah, for real. We'll just read the headline on this one. Not going to go deep. I highlighted some stuff, but I want to kind of breeze over this. BRICS, Egypt ditching the US dollar in trade with the bloc. Pretty much, if you read into this article over here, it pretty much just says they haven't decided what exactly is going to happen. This isn't official just yet, but they're not going to use the dollar. They're probably most likely just going to use local currencies with India, Russia, China, and others. We kind of heard this before, but seeing Egypt officially announce it is breaking. Also, we have another news from a country. Nigeria regulator says local Binance operation is illegal. It says that the company was not registered or regulated, making it illegal. So this is going to be interesting to watch. Nigeria has had a very interesting relationship with crypto. Of course, we know the citizens of Nigeria are absolutely loving it. The government themselves, they've experimented with the CBDC, then they've dumped that. They've had times where Bitcoin's legal, then they try to make it illegal. This is not them saying it's illegal. Nigeria at the moment still legalizes crypto trading, but they are going after Binance. There's just no way that's not somewhat tied to what we see in America with our SEC. But it is an update that you guys need to know about Binance. They have been deemed illegal by the SEC in Nigeria. We'll see how that one goes. I know that's not an end thing, just like here in the United States. Just because an SEC says something doesn't make it law, doesn't make it official. It's just their claim. I'm not familiar with how Nigerian courts operate, so I'm going to have to continue to watch to see that one. But it's an update to Binance. You guys should know Nigeria is looking like they're going to get some pressure to be leaving that country. But let's move on to the main story. This, and I told you guys, I teased this in the intro. This isn't just the main story of today, because we have the FOMC meeting today. Which, by the way, Piper, let's talk about that for a second, because I'm not going to be able to. Are you going to be going live during that FOMC meeting?
Negative.
Negative. I think we're going to be taking this one off, guys. I will definitely be paying attention to what's happening, and we will discuss it tomorrow on the show, but we will not be going live right now. CBD Suddy says, Tim, grace us with your presence. Oh, thank you for that. But I cannot grace you with my presence this afternoon. I am sorry. That's a big story, the FOMC, but this one is bigger, and it's not just bigger today. This could be the biggest headline and story that we see for a long time to come. Treasury Secretary says to expect a slow decline in U.S. dollar as reserve currency. This is crazy. Speaking today, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that there should be an expectation of a slow.
Tim, pause for 1 second. Hey, can somebody drop a new link in the chat for our free Discord, please? Dylan Martinez cannot get to it.
Is it broken?
It's broken again.
All right, we're gonna make sure we get that one fixed. Yeah.
But back to the story. Back to the news.
Let's keep going on here. Yeah, Janet Yellen said that there should be an expectation of a slow decline in the U.S. dollar as reserve currency. Moreover, the statement arrives amidst international de-dollarization efforts employed by a host of countries, including the BRICS economic bloc. We just kind of talked about that, in with Egypt and what they're planning to do with Russia and China and India and everything else. So here's where it is. Yellen had previously stated her expectation that the U.S. dollar would remain unchallenged as the global reserve currency. However, it appears as though recent developments have shifted her stance on the matter. Was there anything else I had highlighted here? I think I had some stuff down here. Speaking to Reuters, now it's not clear where this happens, if this was a recent interview or like weeks ago. But speaking of Reuters, Yellen maintained her confidence in the U.S. dollar, specifically the confidence that it will remain the global reserve currency despite the de-dollarization action that had been taken by countries like China and Russia. Subsequently, she acknowledged attempts by these nations to create an international trade alternative, but described them as difficult to conceive. Now, so not a whole heck of a lot of details. The biggest one, though, is the fact that she admitted guys, we're going to see a slow decline in the U.S. dollar as reserve currency. Piper, let's go to Brocam real quick. Let's kind of break this down here for a second.
Let's do that, Tim.
We are not saying that all of a sudden this means the Chinese yuan or the Russian ruble or any other fiat currency is going to be taking the dollar's place. In fact, what we're seeing, and you see this, we've been seeing it over the last couple of weeks, we're watching the likes of these BRICS nations like China and Russia start to really, really take into account and bring in cryptocurrency into their workings, namely Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the dollar's not going to go away overnight. It's not going to just, we're not going to snap our fingers and all of a sudden the dollar is no longer the reserve currency. It still has its day it still even has a route to recovery. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I'm not trying to sit here and support Donald Trump whatsoever. Everyone should decide for themselves who they want to vote for. As long as you don't vote for Biden, honestly, whoever you choose is great. I think the likes of potentially someone with the business mindset of Trump could try to gain steps towards recovering the strength of the U.S. dollar. But with our current trajectory, the dollar's days are numbered. Now, those numbers might be in multiple years, but the days are numbered. The question is what will come next. The question is what will come next. And Piper, I'm sitting here. I think the death of the dollar is not going to be the birth of the currency being another fiat currency. I think that we are going to see a crypto take over as the next world reserve currency. What do you think?
I think it's got a very good possibility for it. Remember, governments are always going to fight hard to be in control of finance. It's national security. But I do think that we will see a place that exists where crypto does have a role, at least in the rapid transition of transfer of international currency. So, yeah, I'm updating. I'm updating the link right now in our drop.
Yeah, I saw Cryptex just posted another one. But I want to keep it on with this, Piper. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was driving home from work, and you know what? It hit my brain. I realized this is very ironic what's happening right now. 2 years ago today, Piper, do you remember? I know you and I didn't know each other, but you were in the crypto world. 2 years ago today, do you remember the chaos and the fear when it was realized that China housed the majority of Bitcoin miners? And it was the one thing we were like, if something was going to take down Bitcoin, it was going to be the fact that China housed the majority of miners, right?
I do remember
this is a big fear. All right. And
Yep.
then it was seen as when we saw China kind of pushing the miners out and the miners started coming to America and other countries, we were like, oh, thank the Lord, America's going to save Bitcoin from the clutches of China. That was 2 years ago. Right now, Piper, where we're currently sitting, the U.S. government is doing everything within their power. And I guess I shouldn't put the entire U.S. government, but people within the U.S. government that currently hold high seats of power are doing everything in their power to kill crypto. And yes, they haven't named Bitcoin as the main target, but we have got to believe they're going after Bitcoin as well. Elizabeth Warren's made it very clear she's not just going after crypto, she's going after Bitcoin, right? The U.S. government is putting it very much in a question of what do we see for the future of Bitcoin? And guess who right now could be the safe haven that saves cryptocurrency and Bitcoin?
Hong Kong.
China and Russia. 2 years ago, they were the ones supposedly supposed to kill it. Now they're the safe haven. What a changing of times, Piper. This is going to continue to be crazy as we
Tim,
unpack
what
it.
if that was a long game play by them to go, we're going to get out of it so that everyone else would get out of it so that they could come in and scoop it all up?
Maybe, but Piper, and we got to close out after this, but I don't think it was a long-term play. Here's what I think happens. And we've talked about this for a long time. Bitcoin, like a Trojan horse, and just its very existence, it has rooted itself into people and into governments, into currency, and it is proving that it is a better source of money than any other. I think China honestly didn't want it. I think they wanted to support the yuan, but guess what? As bad as the US dollar is doing, the Chinese yuan isn't doing well either. I think the difference is the Chinese government is waking up and saying, you know what? We need a solid form of money. And gold had its day. It had its thousands of years. It's not the right answer. Bitcoin could be the right answer. I don't know if this was a long plan by China or it's a waking up, a great awakening of them saying, gosh darn it, we need solid money because this fiat money is not working. And that's exactly what is talked about in the Bitcoin standard, which is why everyone should read it. This is something that should help you sleep at night, but also make you want to go put all of your money into the likes of Bitcoin and crypto, is because it's just a law of economics. When you have weak money like the dollar, like the yuan, like the ruble, that's backed by only a government and can be inflated at the snap of a finger, it will always flow from weak money into strong money. And that's exactly what Bitcoin is. I cannot wait to see how this continues to develop. I am a little bit frustrated at the role the United States is playing. And I really, really hope we get our handle on this very soon.
Facts.
That being said, guys, that's all we have for you today. It is 10:02. We love each and every single last one of you. We are the Investing Bros, the most generous crypto community here on YouTube. Make sure on your way out you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the channel with your friends as we continue to push for 4,000 subscribers here within the next couple of weeks. That being said, though, we will see you tomorrow morning and we'll break down everything about the FOMC meeting. You guys have a great day.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.